Here at the Hawaii Convention Center, they're prepared to bring in 4,000 evacuees from Maui. There are currently 127 upstairs and more are expected throughout the day. DPS say they're going to try to have the eastbound 202 open by 7:30 this morning. Back to you. Today's the very first day of practice for the Rainbow Warriors before they hit the road for their very first game and season opener at Vanderbilt before they come back home for their very first home game September 1st. I'm Sydney Witte for Hawaii News Now. For veterans, being out in nature can be a tranquil experience. Quiet in nature and the stillness help with their anxieties. It's the tunes that make the traveling experience unique for the 120,000 people that come up these escalators every day. This is Hawaiian Airlines 787 Pilot Simulator that helps pilots learn how to fly in any conditions to any Hawaiian destination. Yes, we're taking a look at the balance of power across the U.S. Senate. We're going to be focusing on 4 major states across the country. Those are Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, and Arizona. This seed goes deeper than just becoming a plant. Once these seeds are planted and covered with dirt, it becomes Hopi sweet corn, what Michael calls their mother. If you didn't snag a ticket for Super Bowl Sunday, there's plenty of events going on in town that you don't want to miss. Here's 8 budget-friendly ones. For veterans, being out in nature can be a tranquil experience. Quiet in nature and the stillness help with their anxieties. We're on the skyline that currently stems from West Oahu to Aloha Stadium. However, other destinations will include downtown and the Ala Moana Center. If you want to catch a ride, you can get on June 30th. I'm Sydney Witte for Hawaii News Now. As an arson dog, Zeta is constantly trained to keep up her skills. In fact, she went through a 6-week training program in Virginia to get certified back in 2019.
And show me. Let's get that hand. Oh, show me.
David Zaring is a Gilbert fire investigator and handler to Zeta, the only ATF certified dog in Arizona. On this day, he's preparing the warehouse for morning training.
Let's see if this works.
By dripping accelerants like gasoline and lighter fluid onto different surfaces for Zeta to find.
Just put a little bit right there on that sleeve.
She knows it's time to start sniffing when she hears the words,
"You want to go to work?"
Even though Zeta is assigned to the Gilbert Fire Department, she's been helping fire departments across the country and locally for the past few years. After a fire, if arson is suspected, Zeta is called in to quickly locate any accelerants that may have caused it.
Because of her nose and being able to go right in and pinpoint where that accelerant is at, it just multiplies the success rate for that investigator to be able to send it into the crime lab to get a positive alert on that sample.
Zeta was certified as an ATF dog in 2019, but she still trains twice a day for 365 days a year in order to maintain her skills.
When she walks up, she actually will zigzag because she's checking both sides of the steps. Every training that we do is going to be like what we would work at a fire scene. So when we get there, it's not a surprise to her. She's going to know exactly how she needs to perform in order to get that task done.
She has investigated about 80 fires over the past 3 years. Thanks to her nose, cases have been solved quickly and efficiently.
Good girl.
Zeta was called out to Chicago during 2020 and worked 26 fires in 9 days. In the newsroom, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News. If you have to catch a flight, you might find yourself putting a pep in your step while walking through the main corridor or entering the food court in Terminal 4. That's because of a music program Sky Harbor began a few years ago. On Thursdays of every month, local tunes are bringing harmony to the crowds through a program called Traveling Tunes, an initiative that helps artists by providing a platform to perform and by helping travelers ease their anxiety.
People stop, they smile, they listen. This just calms it down and makes that stressful environment a little more enjoyable as you're passing through our airport. And we have a great response from our passengers.
And on this day, a local brass ensemble, Fountain Hill Saxophone Quartet, finds joy when playing their instruments for many who have never heard of a quartet like theirs.
We get a lot of surprise, that there are saxophone quartets. That's probably the #1 response we get is, we've never heard a saxophone quartet, and we didn't realize that the sounds could blend so well and that it would sound as good as it does.
It's the tunes that make the traveling experience unique for the 120,000 people that come up these escalators every day. And it's also proving to make travelers happier for their journey ahead.
I'm like happier right now, just like listening to music. I'm having a tough morning, but then I hear this and it just makes me happy. I think music is therapeutic.
And that's exactly why they're at Sky Harbor. Traveling Tunes has a theme for each month of the year. If you have a flight next Thursday, you can hear the Fountain Hills Saxophone Quartet, and if you're an artist, you can sign up at the Sky Harbor Airport's website. In the newsroom, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News. Preparing for the day, these Glendale firefighters never know what kind of situation they might be called into next.
Pick someone off the ground, or they have a broken arm, small rock that goes in the backpack. Some of those bigger rocks are the drownings, are the pediatric calls. The calls where a family member is literally wailing with just pure anguish from the loss of one of their family members. That sound sticks with you. That's a big rock in your backpack.
Ashley Losh is a captain with the Glendale Fire Department, and after a traumatic call over a decade ago, she realized something wasn't right.
When I recognized that it wasn't going away, I reached out to one of our peer support team members and just said, I think something's going on and I need to talk.
She reached out to a coworker in the peer support program, which was started by Glendale Fire 3 years ago, to help those struggling with the darker side of their job.
Whether that's after high-stress incidents here at work with drownings, trauma codes, just traumatic incidents that people aren't supposed to see.
The peer program consists of fellow Glendale firefighters and has a casual approach. Team members can call or text each other before and after calls to talk about anything that's on their mind.
To be able to be strong enough to want to talk about it and change our culture from within, to have more open dialogue about our mental health.
The department says that without stress relief, they wouldn't be able to do their job.
You're not going to be able to function, and you're not going to be able to serve the public. And ultimately, that's what we're here to do, is make sure we're here for the public on their worst day.
These firefighters understand that when they're called to help, they can't be on their worst day. In Glendale, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News.